ID Alliance presents this week's short attention span sales tip. Good morning, everyone. Hey, one of the more frustrating parts of sales, as I'm sure I don't have to tell you, is when a client disappears. Now, I'm not talking about them leaving you in terms of, we're going to go buy from somebody else. But here's a scenario. You're doing business with someone and they say, oh, this is great. I'm definitely going to go with this. I've got a project. I've got a meeting right now, so I got to jump, but call me in a week. And you say, great. And you're already spending the commission in your head. So you call them in a week, voicemail. Then you call them the next day, voicemail. Call them the day after that, voicemail. 2 days later, voicemail, email, nothing. And you're thinking, oh, wait a minute, this guy told me to call him. Or maybe it's someone that's asked you to bid on something and you say, they say, give me a price, and you deliver your price, and then you can't get it back on the phone. You don't know whether you got the job, whether you didn't get the job, whether it's just on hold, whether it's been canceled, because they won't talk to you. It's very frustrating because you're sitting there thinking, I don't know what to do. Do I keep calling? Do I stop? Am I being rude? Am I showing good follow-up? Am I being tested? It's so maddening. And I have this conversation a lot with my customers. My suggestion to you is, number one, expect it. If you knew that it was going to be difficult for you to get in touch with someone again, wouldn't you take different steps while you had them? Wouldn't you say something like, hey, if you see my name on caller ID, pick up? I had a client once years ago that said, this about 4 or 5 years ago, they said, hey, we go to a lot of trade shows and people stand right in front of us and say, yeah, we'll definitely talk to you next week, and we can't get them on the phone. What do you suggest we do? And I came up with a silly idea. I said, get them to pinky swear. Stick out your pinky and say, promise me that you'll pick up the phone. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I said, try it. And they got back to me about 2 months later, and they said, for the last trade show, we got about 85% of the people that promised us that they would pick up the phone. And they all said, well, I did pinky swear that I pick up the phone. It's silly, but it worked. So when you have them in front of you, then understand, expect that it's going to be difficult. So say something like, hey, look, my experience has been that people tend to get busy and my priorities aren't their priorities, etc. So let's make a promise. Can I call you Tuesday morning? That's most desirable, is to nail it down to a specific time. Or maybe if you're delivering a price, say, let me ask you, when is this job going to be awarded? Who's making the decision? When can I follow up? How can I follow up? Meaning cell phone or email or text, or call you direct, or bang on the door, or send up a flare or something. And the biggest question is, what happens if I can't get you on the phone? What happens if I can't find you? What do you want me to do? If you ask those questions, and these are all the things that we wish we had known to ask, and these are all the things, if you're sitting there saying, oh, I can't get this guy on the phone anymore, I wish I had asked all these questions, now's the time. You can't stop the customer from disappearing. Again, your priorities are not their priorities. Something else has come up. You were the shiny object, but you're no longer the shiny object. And they don't have the courtesy, perhaps, to say, this is on hold, or you didn't get the job, it's too confrontational, whatever. And you are going to face that battle of, how many calls should I make? Should I stop? What should I do? What if I stop too early? Maddening. So this is something I think you're going to have to get in the habit of doing. Just a couple thoughts for you as a tip this week. And that's it. So listen, have a great selling week. I'll talk to you all next week. If you need me, call me. I'm in the office all week. Thanks.